Also keine Sorge, wir werden jetzt hier nicht den gefühlt 10. gleichartigen Besuch bei D-Box machen. Sie kennen das Prinzip der bewegten Sitze schon, das möchte ich jetzt nicht weiter vertiefen. Was ich ganz kurz zeigen möchte, ist da drüben diesen Haptisync. Das ist der neue Controller, den es von D-Box seit so circa einem Dreivierteljahr gibt. Wir haben den bei uns auch schon im Programm und an einige Kunden verkauft. Was man im Übrigen auch sehr schön sieht, ist hier dieser bekannte D-Box mit dieser JMAR Experience. Der kostet jetzt mittlerweile wesentlich mehr. War früher mal als zweiaktoriger Sitz mit Kunstleder im Angebot für, ich glaube, $4.000, was einfach sagenhaft günstig war. Der Preis war wahnsinnig subventioniert, das hat sich nicht gerechnet. Man braucht dann doch die Händler und kein reines Webshop-Produkt. Wir arbeiten auch hier mit JMAR zusammen. Das ist der Sitzhersteller, mit dem D-Box hier zusammen ausstellt und der für diese Experience dann eben auch den Sitz gestellt hat. Aber jetzt möchte ich gar nicht so sehr über das sprechen, was wir anbieten oder mit Sitzen, sondern ich möchte die Möglichkeit nutzen, mit dem Jean-Martin zu sprechen. Hi Jean-Martin, thanks for joining us. Yep. Jean-Martin ist ein Hardware-Spezialist bei D-Box. How long do you work at D-Box?
So I've been with D-Box since 17 years now.
Oh, it's quite a long while.
Yeah.
And you are familiar with D-Box Haptisync,
yes.
basically.
Yep.
And can you tell us what to expect from Haptisync and some new updates concerning gaming and the dynamic D-Box movement your colleague just mentioned?
Yeah, so next week we plan to release the new audio mode, so you'll be able to watch any content and have a haptic experience with your content.
But it's just vibration.
It's just vibration, but at this time we have over 2,500 titles, D-Box encoded titles. Mm-hmm. But with the audio mode, you'll be able to watch, I would say, your football game, mm-hmm. or any kind of content, you know.
Okay. Well, it sounds interesting to watch Formula One with D-Box shaking.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Actually, how far will configuration allow customer to specify the whole movement of the seats with this feature?
It's pretty easy. So with the Haptisync app, you just have to choose your haptic mode.
Yes.
In the app, and you're good to go. So it's pretty fast.
Will the customer be able to specify the frequency where this kind of butt kicker will be
at this time, you'll have the option to remove or to keep the voice of the content. So, you know, this way the algorithm will be slightly different depending the option you choose. Mm-hmm. So for certain type of content, by example, if you're listening music, so if you're listening to music, so maybe you'll have to keep the voice, or for another type of content, you'll be able to remove, you know, the voice feature. So it's pretty easy to do it. So.
Okay, sounds interesting. What about gaming options? When a customer actually spends, let's say, 20 grand on one of those amazing seats, he puts it into his home theater and he wants to do some gaming, and he has a PlayStation or an Xbox or a PC. What type of option will he have to use this hardware with D-Box?
Yeah, so at this time with the Haptisync hub, you'll have the option to use the audio mode, you know, to have the sound from your game. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you know, D-Box is compatible with 100 titles on PC. So. Okay,
but on PlayStation, Xbox, will there be any chance to use some kind of D-Box?
Not yet, so we are working on it. So we hope to have it in the near future to be compatible, but it's not released yet at this time.
What about the dynamic mode you just mentioned a couple of minutes ago, where you configure which type of movement you get when moving your joystick?
Yeah, so it's called the adaptive gaming mode. So it's included with the Motion Core 11.1 Windows. So Windows-based software.
Sure. For non-native D-Box supported games on PC platform.
For any type, any kind of games, all games, I would say, you can configure your own. You can create a profile, you know, how can I say, to set special effects to to your buttons, to your mouse, to your keyboard. So this way you can create a profile, by example, for Fortnite to play your game, and you're going to have an amazing haptic experience. So,
well, I haven't played Fortnite so far, but
yep.
How to set up the wiring when really having a JMR D-Box equipped seat,
yep.
and you already have a Haptisync connected to your D-Box seat.
So
you have to go for the K1P controller, I guess. So you have to manually plug in and to switch between both.
Yeah, correct. So depending which generation of motion system you have, you may need to buy an extra K1P or a KCU1P controller, so to connect it to your computer. So this way you're going to be able to play any games from your PC.
Okay.
But that means you have to disconnect some cables, you know, from your home theater setup.
Got it. Let's talk about Haptisync. And Johnny,
yep.
let's move over to the controller. Would you mind to explain the main differences between Haptisync controller and its predecessor, the well-known HMC controller that has been sold for, I think, 5 years, 6 years?
Yep. So the Haptisync hub has first an internal microphone, you know.
Yeah.
So if you are unable to send an analog stereo mix to your controller, you can use the internal microphone.
So the basic differentiation is that this one supports an internal microphone, which the HMC doesn't have.
Also, the HMC, the Haptisync hub, has an haptic out at the back.
Yes.
So directly from the Haptisync hub, you can daisy chain your chairs.
Okay. We already sold this into some customers projects. Übrigens sage ich ganz kurz, wir werden demnächst hier auf YouTube auch ein Video zeigen, wo wir den schon verbaut haben mit einigen Sitzen. We already sold one of these controllers into one of our home theaters with 3 D-Box seats, so we're familiar with that. From your perspective as a technician, what's the main challenge to develop this platform compared to HMC? I heard it's based on Linux rather than Windows.
Correct. So it's, you know, it's more reliable for,
hopefully,
I would say, for power outage, or you know, it's like disconnecting your PC at home from the power. You might have corrupted data, you know.
Okay, but to date we did not have any complaints with HMC so far, but with Haptisync actually. We had some customers who complained that, for example, Pirates of the Caribbean Part 2 was not recognized by this controller. So are you working on this solution? And what's your forecast on...
So in the next week, we're going to release a new version of the firmware inside. So it's going to be downloaded automatically to all users. So, and the new firmware it's gonna fix some bugs, you know, regarding the content. And
so the customer will be able to watch all the movies that are supposed to be played back on D-Box with.
Correct. That's correct.
Haptisync again. That's cool. Do you know any plans to allow, for example, Control 4, RTI, Crestron systems to control D-Box devices?
Well, at this time you can control it via TCP/IP.
Yeah, but there's no designated driver around for Control 4 to switch on and off to specify the movement?
No, so you have to send specific comments.
Yes.
So we already have a document available with all comments you can send to your from your Control 4 or Crestron.
Okay.
So via TCP/IP. So
okay.
So it has to be connected to the network. So with the previous version on the HMC, you had the RS-234.
Yeah, this was quite complicated.
32, port at the back. So, and it's no longer available with the Haptisync hub.
Okay, that's good to know. Nobody told me that it's possible to control it right now with some.
Yeah. So the document is available on our knowledge base.
Okay.
So you can find all the instruction, all the comments to hook your Haptisync hub with Control 4.
That's cool. 2 more questions.
Sure.
Number 1. Do you agree what Mario told me, that there's no difference in feeling the movement of D-Box with a 3 actuator equipped seat compared to a 4 actuator equipped seat?
You're gonna have a little bit more motion right left, you know, the roll movement.
Okay.
Slightly, but you know,
5%.
Maybe.
Okay.
I can give you exact numbers, but it's just because you're gonna have 2 actuators, you know, on each side, so you're gonna have a more pronounced movement.
Okay.
Right, left. But at the end, you know, the difference is very subtle.
I will add in another question if you allow.
Sure.
When you script the D-Box movies,
yep.
Do you make certain profiles for 2, 3 and 4 actuator setups, or is it one basic movement that each controller adapts to the number of actuators that are built in?
So yeah, the control box inside the chairs, you know, they can do a down mix of the main code.
Yeah.
So most of the time the motion codes are encoded in 3 axes. So and the ACM inside the chair will down mix, you know, the motion for 2 actuators, by example.
Okay, that's interesting. Last but not least, let's talk about D-Box content. I realized when watching Obi-Wan Kenobi at Amazon Video that shortly after release there was a D-Box code available for each episode. How do you do that?
So we have a team. A demo? Sorry.
Okay. Bist du noch drin, Johnny? Ja gut, dann moderiere ich jetzt einfach mal weiter. Das ist hier alles live. Was ich ihn jetzt noch fragen möchte, wenn er mir erklärt, wie die es schaffen, eben so schnell zu sein. Früher war es bei D-Box so, da musste man wochenlang warten, bis die Produkte rausgekommen sind. Also okay, I was just using the break to explain how you do the movie and all the codec implementation. So basically, you're pretty fast.
Yeah, so we have a team working on it. So as soon as the content is released, so we can start the encoding. So we have a full team working. So some people, some motion designers are working on the motion. The other team is working on the vibration. So this way, you know, we can release the new titles in a day.
But you do not get those titles in advance from Amazon?
In some cases, yes. By example, for Hollywood movies, we have it in advance. For Netflix and Disney Plus, so it's a little bit more hard to have the content in advance.
Okay.
But we are very reactive, you know, to launch the motion.
But by the way, thanks for supporting Stranger Things. Yeah, I love the show. It's so great watching it with D-Box. What's your most favorite movie to watch with D-Box?
Well, Top Gun Maverick was
so you
incredible.
Can lift off in your own hotel.
Yeah, it was, I think, one of the best D-Box movie at this time. So if you didn't see it, you absolutely need to see it.
Und ansonsten, that's a cool idea. Ansonsten, wir haben ja auch einen D-Box Sitz in Braunshorn in unserer Demo. Da haben wir so einen JMA Lifestyle. Einfach mal bei uns ein Ticket kaufen über einen Online-Shop und dann können wir mal gucken, wie das funktioniert. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Have a great show.
Thank you.